Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today I'm going to share with you our DIY bed that we made in our last video when we did our whole room makeover and the reveal. I had a lot of questions on this bed and where we got it from, and I shared in the video that I would be uploading a separate video that would be an entire video on how we built this bed. So I actually bought a bed very similar to this back in November on Black Friday for like half price. But because the shipping just kept being delayed, I decided to cancel the order, and I figured we could save some money and just build it ourselves. So to get started, I actually went and picked out some curtains, and I used that as the fabric that was going to wrap over the boards. I found these curtains at the at-home store. They were $16.99 a piece, and I only used 3 panels. And then I also got some quilt batting and a twin mattress pad that I will show you guys what I'm using that for here later in the video. So to start, I just opened up each of the panels and I cut the little rings off of the top so that the fabric was ready to go to put on the boards. I will be sure to have all of the dimensions of the boards and the whole bed frame in the description box below, so make sure that you check that out if you have any questions on that. Again, this is going to be a queen size bed, so the dimensions are for a queen size. But I do know these boards are 1x8, so that's the size of the boards that we used for the bed. Thomas cut them to size so that they would be perfect as we wrap them in fabric. So the first thing that we actually did is I measured the fabric that I wanted for each of the boards. I would lay the board down and make sure that I had a few inches to flip over the side so that I could staple the fabric to the board. But before I stapled the fabric to the board, we also got pieces of batting that would lay underneath, and this just added extra padding. One thing I would suggest, I think that I would double wrap the batting around it. I feel like that would just make the bed look a little bit better. Our bed turned out great, but I think that if I could go back, I would just double wrap the batting around the wood and then staple over the fabric on top of that. So you're going to repeat this process 3 times. You can do a 4th time, but I actually used the board that was like up against the wall. I did not wrap that in fabric. I figured nobody will ever see that. So I didn't find a reason to waste any of the fabric that we had. So we only did the 3 boards that would be exposed and that you would see. And then obviously the headboard, and then the 2 side boards that go up the back side that connect the bottom to the headboard. The next thing Thomas is doing here is he has some corner brackets that will be connecting each of the side boards together. So he is just screwing these into the front board, and of course make sure that you get screws that are long enough to penetrate the wood, but not too long that they will poke out the other side. The next thing he's doing is attaching the leg brackets to the bottom of the bed. And I don't think you can tell right here, but we accidentally bought some angled ones. So when we attached our wooden legs, they kind of poked out funny. So we had to go back and get regular ones. I don't know if I show that in this video. So I just want to let you guys know, when we flip the bed over, if you notice the legs look kind of funny, it was because of the kind of bracket that we put on. So we made sure to get some flat leg brackets, and then we were able to attach the wooden legs. We picked those up at Lowe's, and if I remember right, they were around $5 or $6 per leg. Using a 1x3 board, he is screwing this to the inside of the bed so that we are able to lay the slats over the top. And you can actually do this as high or low as you wanted, but we wanted our mattress to just sit like right on top. He left about 1 inch at the top of the bed so that the slats would just, again, kind of sit right there on top. After he uses his pin nailer to install all of the slats to the bed, he puts another supporting piece down the center of the bed. So he'll do that underneath. I do show that here at the end, but something I did not show was we end up putting 2 additional legs on the center of the bed, just again for support. So we have the 4 legs on the outer side, and then we have 2 legs on the supporting piece that goes down the center of the bed. The next thing I'm doing is steaming the fabric to get ready for the headboard. I should have steamed all of the fabric before I used it, but I did end up steaming it after the fact. I just would definitely suggest doing that. First thing is make sure you steam all the fabric. So what I'm doing here for the headboard, I will have the exact dimensions again in the description box, but we just used a sheet of plywood. We cut it to size that we wanted. This fit 1 panel perfectly, like 1 curtain panel fit over this perfectly. And then you can see here, this is where the twin mattress pad comes into play. So I am just stapling this to the headboard. If you could find a white one, I would suggest doing that. I thought the one I bought was white. It was inside of a box. And I feel like you can kind of see that there's like a little bit of a difference in color. Most people would not notice that, but that's something that maybe because I know that the padding is blue underneath that I feel like you can see through it. Anyway, this just makes the headboard extra padded. So I would definitely not skip this part. After I staple this padding to the headboard, then I will go ahead and cover it again with the batting, and then I will finish it off with the curtain or the fabric. So I would also suggest when you're doing the headboard, make sure you're doing this with somebody. I was just getting a little ahead of myself and I just really wanted to get this done that day. And so it would just be a lot easier to have someone else pulling on it while you're stapling, just to make sure that the whole headboard is really smooth. It did turn out perfectly, and Thomas got here at the end, and so he was a big help with pulling it tight and stapling those last pieces. Now, the last part of this is actually the piece that you're going to use as the connecting, like your headboard to the bottom of your bed. So I, again, will have the dimensions of the size of what we did here, but he used some plywood and then attached a 1x3 or 4, I think it was, so that this could screw into the back side of the bed and then also cover the side. This is definitely an extra thing. You don't have to do this, but I liked the way that those beds looked that have the side piece running up the back of the headboard. So right here, you guys, I feel so bad. This is just not good footage. Like, I'm totally in the way of this. But the first thing we did here is we cut a little piece of fabric off and stapled it to the very top so that when we wrap the fabric around, the top of these corner pieces look like they are professionally done. And that is something that when people have come here, they're like, this looks like a store-bought bed. Like, you cannot tell that this was a DIY project. And I think just doing those little extra details, like having that first piece go along the top and then folding a piece over, really helped make a difference. It makes it look really professional. So anyway, sorry about the really bad footage here, but this was a really simple thing. So once the bed was flipped over, we screwed the sideboards to the back of the headboard, and then we attached it to the bottom. We did film this process and I cannot find it anywhere on my memory card. So I hope that that little explanation kind of helped, just walking you through how to attach the back of the headboard. There are definitely other videos you guys could look up on fabric headboards and how you can attach those things. So this was definitely not a difficult project. We both agreed. We were really glad that we did this and we were able to save some money by doing it ourselves. But we absolutely love how this turned out. We love how the room turned out. And I feel like the bed is obviously the biggest statement piece of the bedroom. And so we would definitely recommend, if you have any basic DIY skills, then you could definitely complete this project. So thank you guys again so much for watching. And we will, if you have not yet hit that red subscribe button, make sure you do that. We will see you guys in the next video. For anybody that's still watching, I wanted to mention this here at the very end. But at the end of last year, I started my own online store called The Christmas Cottage, and I have Christmas items up all year round that you can shop from, as well as seasonal decor. So if you're interested, please consider following over on Instagram if you have an Instagram account at Thechristmascottage_. And I will also have a link to my website in the description box below. Thanks again, and we'll see you guys in the next video.